When your car doesn't start, you don't throw the car away. Usually it's just a flat battery and you get some jumper leads and you can jump start your car and it's up and running again and it will charge the battery through the alternator. Let me show you today how you can jumpstart your finances so that if you've got nothing to start with, I'll show you how to get started so that you can build up your wealth much more quickly than if you had to do it the slow way. Okay, so how do you jumpstart your wealth? Maybe you're in your early 20s and you want to get started. You want to buy real estate, you don't know how to get started. Or maybe you're in your 50s and you're thinking to yourself, you know, I don't really have enough money in my retirement account to look after myself the way I'd like to be looked after. How do you get started? What do you do to jumpstart your wealth? Well, the first thing that I think you should do is you've got to have a business. Create an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp or any kind of company. If you start a business, it's as simple as changing your employment status from being an employee to being an independent contractor. Because if you qualify as an independent contractor, then suddenly all kinds of things become tax deductible. The use of your vehicle to get to and from your various contracts is tax deductible. The use of part of your home as a home office, the use of your computer, it all becomes tax deductible in a way that as an employee, it would never be. So by doing that, if you're making sure it's properly structured, you can take advantage of these and other deductions. And with a business, you will start to generate income. And that income that's generated from your business will be the basis of creating wealth through real estate. Now, at some stage, you want to buy a home to live in. You've got to buy your house the right way. You need a place to live in. Your home will likely be one of the biggest expenditures you'll ever make. Look for deals in neighborhoods that are appreciating and make the best possible deal on financing. That means shop around. Just because you've always been with one bank for the last 15 years doesn't mean to say that they have to be the only bank that you're allowed to go to apply for a mortgage. Apply for a mortgage at 6 institutions and see which one offers you the best interest rate or the best terms. You know, it might be worthwhile paying a slightly higher interest rate if they offer you a 30-year mortgage instead of a 25-year mortgage. And in this country, you can even get 40-year mortgages. They are the way to go because it means your monthly payments are reduced. Some people will say, no, don't get a 40-year mortgage because when you add what you'll be paying over those 40 years, it's huge. No, in 40 years' time, the value of that mortgage will be trivial. Chances are you will have refinanced multiple times. Get the best mortgage deal you can. Get the house that serves you best. Don't go for the biggest house that you can afford. You don't need those 6 extra bedrooms. Go for the most modest home that you can comfortably live in. Build up some equity in that because that's going to be the basis of you creating wealth. The next step is to make money with the home you live in. Once you've built up some equity in your home, you have an asset that you can borrow against. You can pull this money out. It's tax-free, by the way. There's no tax owing when you pull money out. And by pulling money out, I mean you can refinance. You can take out a new mortgage or a bigger mortgage. And by the way, the interest that you'll pay on this increased mortgage is tax deductible, even though it's your own home. Because remember, it's not the asset that you use as security for a mortgage that determines tax deductibility. Rather, it's the purpose to which that money is put. If you borrow money against an asset to buy a jet ski that you use for pleasure purposes on the weekend, it won't be tax deductible. But if you borrow money against your home to buy an investment property that will generate taxable rental income, then the mortgage interest will be tax deductible. And by the way, if you borrow money against your home to buy a fleet of 10 jet skis that you rent out in your jet ski business, then that is a taxable income enterprise and the expenses of the mortgage will be tax deductible. So remember, it's the purpose to which the loan is put that determines tax deductibility. And when you borrow against your own home to buy investment property, it is tax deductible. This will make it an extraordinarily efficient investment. Number 4, I know I'm passionate about this, but you've got to invest in real estate. Remember, the reason why investing in real estate, in my view, is so much better than investing in just about anything else is you've got leverage. You can buy a $500,000 property, not necessarily by having $500,000, but by only having $100,000 and getting an 80% mortgage. So the more you can put into real estate, the faster your income will grow. Now, of course, you have to optimize your real estate investment by using appropriate leveraging structures. You have to have it structured properly and make sure that it's a bit separate so that if you have a legal issue with one, it won't take your entire portfolio down. but investing in real estate is singularly the best way of expanding your equity in as short a time as possible. Number 5, real estate income can come out tax-free. Now, technically, of course, rental income is taxable, but against that taxable income, you can claim all legitimate expenses incurred in generating that rental income. So your property tax, your insurance, your maintenance, any cleaning fees you have, all these things are tax deductible. So let's say you gross $20,000 a year of rental income, and normally would be taxable. However, you can claim all your cash expenses incurred in generating that taxable income. And for the sake of argument, let's say you've got $15,000 of legitimate expenses, mortgage interest, property taxes, you name it. That leaves you with $5,000 of cash after you've claimed your tax deductible deductions, right? Expenses. So you might think you have to pay tax on that $5,000, and normally you would. However, there are other deductions that you can claim in real estate that don't cost you any money. The first one that comes to mind is depreciation. You might be able to depreciate your $400,000 property at, say, if it's 2.7% or whatever the number is. Let's say you can claim $8,000 of depreciation. That means the $8,000 of depreciation comes off your $5,000 net cash income after expenses, and you're now on paper running at a loss of $3,000. You're pulling in $5,000, you're banking $5,000, but when it comes time to settle up with the tax man, on paper you're running at a loss of $3,000, and in many jurisdictions you can deduct this $3,000 loss against other income, which means the government is effectively subsidizing your real estate investment. And by the way, are you fearful that they're going to find out one day that they're subsidizing your investment and they're going to change the law to stop this? No, they know that they're subsidizing this. They are offering you depreciation, knowing full well that for many people it means that net, your real estate investment is running at a loss. Why do they do this? The government knows it's not very good at providing accommodation for people, so they're encouraging people like you and I to do that. And one of the ways they do it is by giving us great tax incentives. Often your real estate investments will be tax-free. It is a great and very efficient way of building wealth. The final reason why I really think that real estate is great at building wealth is once you have bought your real estate, unlike any other investment, you can spend an extra little bit of money which massively increases the value of your investment. Now, if you buy futures or options or stocks or bonds or certificates of deposits or treasury bills or just about any other investment, I have not figured out a way how you can spend an extra lump of money and increase the value of your entire investment. But with real estate, there are 101 ways of doing it. For instance, just by painting a house, which might cost you $3,000, you can increase the value of that house by $20,000. Now, why people are so naive as to be willing to spend $20,000 more for a painted house when they wouldn't spend $20,000 extra on an unpainted house, I don't know, because surely they'd realize that they too could paint it for $3,000. But not everyone is that creative, or perhaps they don't want to go to the effort of painting it. But there are literally 101 things you can do to massively increase the value of your real estate. And I'm always one to put my money where my mouth is. And that's why I've written this book. It's the longest title on Amazon. 101 ways to massively increase the value of your real estate without spending much money. Click on the link below to get your free copy of this book, because you cannot read this book without finding a good dozen or more things that you can do to your existing real estate right now. And the other ideas might spur you on into doing even more things. Click the link below to get your free copy of this book. Thank you so much for watching. I think you get the idea that I'm pretty passionate about this thing. If you need to build wealth quickly because you're young and you want to get started, or maybe you're not so young but you realize you're a bit behind where you want to be, I believe that real estate is the way to go. Remember to subscribe to get more videos like this. And if you enjoyed this one, if you got some ideas from this video, I think you're really going to enjoy my next one. Check it out.